Yeah, we eventually made it to where that gas main was lighting off, and just we weren't that close, but you can still feel the heat, and the sound was unbearable. It was very loud, and we were easily, half a mile, getting closer, quarter mile out, and there's houses nearby, so we were able to go in closer to the homes without being too close to the main break. We did find 2 people, and I was the medic on that crew, and I was able to do an assessment, but at the same time, they were covered in mud. I couldn't see all their injuries completely. You can kind of see the second-degree burns kind of starting to expose themselves. They didn't really have any chief complaints other than, one lady's feet were kind of hurting her. They jumped out of their house, I guess, to get away from this gas main that was on fire. And so I think their adrenaline was pumping pretty good, and they ended up being more significant than I thought, but we were able to get them out very quickly. And then from there is pretty much us going from house to house, checking to see if people were still there. There was a mandatory evacuation in place, but people still stayed behind. We just didn't know exactly where those houses were, at least I did not. So we're going house to house, checking on everything, and managed to find people, dogs. We tried to get everybody out. Gas main eventually stopped, and obviously that was a relief for us, but there's other mains that were kind of leaking still. You can hear them. Those things are really, really loud. So we're on high alert with that. So searching from there on out, sun came up. We found another neighborhood that had people in it, so we tried to get to those houses. I made quite a bit of mistakes I think a lot of people did, but the mistakes I made where I was kind of too aggressive of trying to get to these homes, to these people. And it was a problem because I could have put myself at risk of falling in a pool, because we were going through mud up to our, past our kneecaps, almost up to our waist. And I beat myself up about it because it was pretty stupid. I was just kind of going across the yard, and all these people here have pools. I stepped in one. I went down pretty far. I was able to kind of get back out of it, but it was a rude awakening. Like, hey, let's take a second. Let's not be narrow-minded when we do these things. So I was make sure to tell everybody so everybody's aware. We get to a few homes. We fly a couple people out, and some people were injured. Some people were missing, and of course looking for animals, things like that. One way that I was able to kind of check on homes we go to one home, say there's one person there. We try to ask them if they were too distraught to tell us who was around. We'll look at pictures, see if there's animals or things like that. It was very difficult, obviously, because we want to make sure to find everybody, but it was very chaotic. And some people couldn't really put things together, like what actually happened. A lot of times I couldn't even register what I was looking at. It was a full-on home up like against a tree, and pieces of homes, like all the interior, like couches and weird spots. I don't know if my mind was playing tricks on me, but there's just times when we try to go down a road, see if we can access certain homes. And there's one time when I fell straight forward. We're still in our turnouts, and there's just mud, obviously, everywhere. That was our way to kind of go through everything. We didn't have, water waders or anything like that. But I remember falling down and being able to kind of float onto the mud and seeing somebody's pet, massive like turtle. And it was so weird at the time because that was like the last thing I was expecting to see. And in my mind, it was just weird. I was just like, is that a turtle or a tortoise kind of thing? And totally does not matter whatsoever, but it's just so odd and weird. Like the last thing I would expect to see, I think I saw some snake. I don't know. I think it was somebody's pet, but it was just kind of like, yeah, everybody's like part of their home is out, out in the open. It was really tough seeing toys, kids' toys and pictures. I think everybody, you know, obviously we didn't have time to eat or anything like that, but it was just kind of one of those things that keeps you going because, you know, I have a couple nieces that, you know, say at this age, and it's kind of like, well, we don't know for sure, but, you know, obviously we got to keep up our intensity of search. There's times when heavy weather would kind of come back. And I actually had like text messages on my watch coming through, like my aunt, who I haven't talked to in a little while, she would text me like, hey, you guys are going to get more rain. And of course, it's already on the radios and things like that, but it's the gravity of the situation of people elsewhere are kind of looking in to see what's going on. We didn't know how widespread it was. We didn't know if it went all the way down to Ventura, to Carpinteria, but yeah, there's times we had to kind of back out because more rain was coming. Yeah, pools were definitely an issue on that one. Just getting from, you know, point A to point B was tough, and you got kind of creative, walking on fences and taking slabs of, or you know, pieces of wood or just slabs of like drywall, just put them on the ground or on the mud, try to walk, you know, efficiently. Yeah, it was kind of, that was like just the first day, the first several hours.